10XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Attention.
They are not ready for prime time.
Prime time.
Prime time.
Prime time. That's the name.
Prime time.
Prime time.
What time is it? Showtime prime time.
It's XL Primetime. Featuring Joe C.
I reduced my toilet paper down to 3 squares.
Matt Hayes.
Big asses and big thighs, yeah.
And Leon Searcy.
Bringing you love, peace, and soul.
How you like me now? How you like me now?
Well, one way you might describe what went down in South Florida yesterday has to do with our Open. That was an oop show. That definitely was in the end. That's for sure. Welcome in, XL Primetime, ready to crank it out. 2 hours. We hang out with you. We hope that you'll hang out with us for the entire show because we're going to try to devote as much as we can to your Jaguars against the Dolphins, and then we'll definitely slide some college football in. The Tyreek discussion definitely warrants some of our attention and some other big games from Saturday and Sunday. Welcome into Mokama Beer Company Monday. Mokama serving coffee every day. That craft beer Tuesday through Sunday. We were up there on Friday having a big time, and we hope that you will check it out right there on South 8th Street in Fernandina Beach as you're heading into the historic area or their Wildlight location or on the shelves, mokama.com. Make sure you check them out. And so it's pretty simple to say. That was one you really could have used, and you blew it. 0-1 feels so much worse than 1-0. So let's get it going on that front. Now, we'll do a pop-off today. If you guys want to record one, you can hit the pop-off line, 207-7071. You can call RJ and get it from him if you want. But we will do a live pop-off and a recorded pop-off. So hopefully you guys will take advantage of that. Because, look, Leon, from the fifth quarter on, man, this 10:10 AM and 92.5 FM was in fuego, okay? People are fired up about not.
And rightfully so, absolutely.
Not coming back with themselves.
So, listen, if the Jaguars played 30 minutes of football, we'd be undefeated. We would be. Well, absolutely.
A lot of 30
But you got to remember, it's 60 minutes of football in the game. And this team came out, started fresh, came out, ran the ball effectively, play action, hit the deep, hit some deep balls, hit some crossers, hit some Evan Ingram. They know he's on the team, right?
I don't know.
Okay, all right.
From training camp till now, I think he's an MIA now.
Well, I don't know. I thought he was a healthy scratch the way they didn't include him in the game. But defensively, we got after it. The Dolphins do a lot of moving, a lot of shifting, a lot of motion or whatever. I think we handled it well. And going into halftime, it was a very productive game, up 17-7. And whatever happened between them going in the locker room and them coming back, this team just dismantled. But, it's something that me and Matt was just talking about in the production. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing we saw last year. This team implode in the second half. Whatever they did, they forgot how to play ball, and then they give us this, and we lose the game, and now we start the season off 0-1.
So I look at this thing. Look, we can talk all we want about the Etienne fumble. Great. They would have won the game if he doesn't fumble the ball. Okay, great. Right? We all agree with that. We all understand that. Great. Here's my problem. You played 30 minutes like you were a desperate football team on week 1. Mm-hmm. You went out there and played your ass off in the first half. Okay? You come out in the second half. 0 sense of urgency. 0. None. You go 3 and out with 3 weird play calls to begin the third quarter, the first drive. 3 and out. Defense, once again, gets it 3 and out. Ball gets punted back. You get the ball again.
Right.
3 and out again.
Yeah.
Punt the ball. Defense, 3 and out again. Get the ball back. And then we all what happened with that drive with Etienne. My whole thing was, where was the sense of urgency? Number one. And number two, because I hate blaming one guy for a fumble. We all know it would have changed it. Whatever. There were numerous points in that game where it could have changed in the second half. So then the question then becomes, if you're making $275 million, okay, mm-hmm. I want the guy that played against the Chargers in the playoff game. That's the guy I want.
Yeah.
Right? I don't want the guy who has no sense of urgency in the second half. Okay? That's not what this team needs. So we've talked all offseason about how Trevor Lawrence was going to be this guy who lifted the rest of the team around him and became this elite quarterback. an elite quarterback doesn't go into the second half of a road game, week 1 road game in the NFL. It's so hard to win on the road in week 1. Okay? It would have been such a monumental win for them considering the way it ended last year. That dog food that everybody had to watch the last, month and a half of last season. Instead of going out in the second half, or instead of being in that locker room with, oh, by the way, remember the idea of Armstead and Savage and Darby and Morse? These were the guys that weren't going to let stuff like this happen. That when adversity hit, no way. This team isn't tanking now because now they got veteran leadership, right? So instead of in that locker room thinking, hey, man, let's step on their neck. Let's squeeze this thing out and get the hell out of here. Instead, you go out in the second half, and what do? Immediately, 3 terrible play calls. All 3 of them to start the first drive, and then it just steamrolled after that.
By the way, the guys that came in from outside that were signed as free agents made plays. Eric Armstead made himself a play. Darnell Savage made a lot of important plays early in this ball game. Gabe Davis down the field with a couple of key catches.
I meant leadership.
Yeah, I understand. But I do think leadership also comes from play.
Right.
And so when you make plays, people look, the defense that Ryan Nielsen brought in there, like we said, it was a 30-minute success and then a 30-minute fail.
Oh, I give him more than 30.
Yeah.
They played probably 3.5 quarters really well football.
But they still ended up, and they were probably sagging.
They were dog tired.
Yeah, they were sagging on that side of the ball. They ended up giving up 338 yards to Tua, but in the beginning, they harassed him. They got him off his spot. He actually was improvising a little bit, taking off and running for some positive yards. But more than anything else, think about what just happened. This team was up by 2 scores. They stopped Miami twice on 4th down, which that usually happens the other way. They stopped Miami twice on 4th down. Then once they let him in the end zone, they go right back after a score from Achane. They go right back and get a field goal before the end of the half to go back up by 10. Double-digit lead at the half, and then obviously they lose in the end.
Well, I think the reason why I'm most disappointed about this team, especially offensively in the second half, is that when the momentum shifted, because the NFL games are about momentum. And the Jaguars had the momentum going in before the fumble. The fumble happens now. The Dolphins fans are cheering. The defense and the offense is galvanized. And then so our offense seemed to be in retreat when the defense started to buckle up and come after them. And it should be the absolute opposite. You know what? When I talk about leadership, was what Matt was saying. What you should say when you say something defensively, you say, you know what? When something like that happens, so what? As a defense, you should say, hey, listen. Don't worry about it. We're going to get the ball back. You get the ball back. We're going to score. Those are the kind of conversations that have to be said on the sideline because bad things happen in the NFL all the time. It's just how you respond to them. Do you respond to the bell when bad things happen? And I just think offensively, we shuddered. All right, we ran the ball effectively in the first half. Second half, we couldn't move the ball. We pass protect like I'd never seen us pass protect before in the first half. Second half, we're giving up pressures. We're giving up sacks. We're giving up twists, all that kind of stuff. You got to buckle down when the momentum changes. You got to understand the intensity changes, and whatever you did before ain't good enough. Don't let you be the problem. They're up
14-7. They get the ball back with a minute and change seconds to go, and there was a literal. You could feel it. There was a sense of urgency for them to go get points because they wanted to double dip. You get points at the end of the first. You get the ball in the third. You can double dip, and then this thing is done. It's over. And they went right down the field. And you give them probably about another timeout or like 10 more seconds, they might have gone in the end zone.
Yeah.
Where was that offense? Where was that play calling to begin the third quarter? That's what I want to know.
Okay, I understand it. And you can easily point to one team might have made adjustments and the other team didn't. Because when you score 17 in the first half and you don't get in the end zone in the second half, then you got a problem because that means that other team figured out a little bit of what to take away from you. And that probably some of that is still true. But the bottom line is, and this does fall at the feet of the player, okay? ETN, you've got a chance to make a play, and you did not. Chris Kirk, you got a chance to catch a couple of big passes when you needed it the most on third down, and you did not. Anton Harrison, with all the hype that you got from being a rookie, right tackle, starting every play, you did not protect when you needed to.
Well, ATN has to understand in that particular situation, when he gets loose, the ball is more important than the touchdown. All right, so you got, and Coach Campo was talking about this yesterday on the fifth quarter, is that you got to understand when you get out in that open space, you got to remember you've got corners and safeties coming at angles that you can't necessarily see. And that guy just made a hell of a play. He punched the ball out, but ATN in that situation, the ball is more important than the touchdown. So if you get tackled at the 2, we still win.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, my gosh.
You know, if we get tackled at the 2 or the 3-yard line, we still win. We still got possession. We still got downs in order to score. But when you get strip fumble like that and goes in the end zone, all the momentum has changed. Because if he goes in and scores, game is over. Mm-hmm. They were gift wrapped to be beat. They were gift wrapped to be beat in that game. If he scores that touchdown, it's over. Yeah. The way our defense played, it would have been a wrap.
Not only that, I mean, this is what I'm talking about with the offense, too. Okay, so you start the third quarter, right? Your first play calls off the right tackle to Tank Bigsby. He gets 2. Right? Or immediately, you're saying, all right, we're going to run the ball. This is not what we did the last drive of the second half, okay? Your next play is some screwy little quick flip screen, tunnel screen, college football tunnel screen to Parker Washington that gets like 3. Mm-hmm. The next play is a drop from Evan Ingram. Some might call it, he didn't drop it. That's a drop. You got to catch that ball. You have to catch it, okay? So my point is, if you're at halftime and you're thinking, all right, let's go out and let's end this thing. First drive. Yeah. These are your play calls?
Yeah, no, I get that.
Not only that, and this is, we've all said, I would have put Brian Thomas, the first play would have gone to Brian Thomas. First play I would have told those offensive line before we went on the field, we are going max protect, and Brian Thomas is going to beat his man, and we're going to get like a 20-yard crosser. And then we're going to really set the tone with that play. Instead, it's like off tackle, tunnel screen, out pattern.
Yeah, but I totally get what you're saying.
Are you kidding me, man?
Yeah, I totally get what you're saying, but let's not forget that football team got the ball back at their 4-yard line, and Tank Bigsby ripped off a big run, and then Gabe had a big catch in the middle of the field, and that was when they were trotting. They made good play calls, and ultimately got themselves out of a bad spot, got themselves in position to score.
The third drive of the third quarter. Yeah, absolutely. And they were at the 4-yard line. I think they realized, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Let's go back to what we were doing at the end of the second quarter.
Granted, and look, and we all know, and Leon knows it better than we do, but these games, they go in like little sections, little pockets. Momentum is real. It is an amoeba. It exists. It's the Demogorgon at times because it's working against you, and that's exactly what happened yesterday. We need to get to the 4th down call, okay? That's a head coach who had a TV timeout to think about it. Let's get into that, but real quick, first, let's hit this. A little that.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
So Tyson Campbell does leave the game with a hamstring injury. The quote from Dougie coming out with the presser just earlier, quote, will miss some time. And so that's non-definitive.
By the way, sometime
but it ain't good.
Usually translates to a lot of time.
Yeah, it ain't good, especially when we're talking about a hamstring, which really hounded him at the end of last year. And he got called on the PI when he fell off the receiver, and it ended up just being bad.
You could tell it was bad injury because as he was coming off the field, he was screaming into his helmet.
Just terrible.
That's a bad injury.
Yeah, and
some time is going to be long.
Yeah, so we don't know the extent of it, but that is certainly not a good one. All right, so pop-off line available to you, 207-70-71. We're here for you. We're here for you to get ticked off and vent and all that kind of stuff, so we would love for you to do it. We'll try and do some live pop-off calls as well at 641-1010. But hit those, get them going, and then we will get to some of the tweets. I asked a very simple question on X yesterday, and you can keep it going at 1010XL Joe C. 3 words to describe the 3-point loss. Got a bunch of them that we will hit coming up on a Mokama Beer Company Monday. It is XL Primetime.
When you just can't take it anymore, or when you absolutely have to have your say, hit the pop-off line, 207-70-71, and let it fly. We can't wait to get game day underway, so we get started 5 hours before kickoff.
I can't pass that up.
It's the Terminix Kickoff Show. Live from Tailgaters Parking. Brought to you by Gatorade and Clearwater Irrigation.
Thank you.
On 1010XL.
Hey Googans, Dr. Chris Kopp, PT here with Premier Physical Therapy of Jacksonville. Is pain interfering with your life? Looking for a specialist for the rehab of your young athlete? Whether recovering from injury, surgery, or improving overall function, Premier PT Jax provides personalized treatment with compassionate care. My team of experts are ready to serve you at 3 locations: Ponte Vedra, San Pablo, and US 1 Phillips Highway. Visit PremierPTJax.com or call 904-996-6922. PremierPTJax.com, where your journey to wellness begins.
We're back! Mia here, and winning season is back. Football is back, and MyBookie is here to make sure you're ready to cash in on the action. This season, MyBookie is pulling out all the stops with incredible promotions, like weekly risk-free boosts on Thursdays, where you can bet without a sweat. If your bet hits, you win big. If it doesn't, forget it. MyBookie will refund your wager. That's just the beginning, folks. MyBookie is giving away hundreds of thousands in prizes with their Super, Survivor, and Squares contests. Get your entries in now for your shot at huge cash rewards. For a limited time, they are bringing back the double deposit bonus. When you're ready to get started, just use promo code 1010XL to claim a bonus that doubles your money on your very first deposit. You heard that right. Double your money with promo code 1010XL before you even place a bet. Not to mention, loyalty pays off with MyBookie Plus. The more you play, the more you win. Climb through tiers of loyalty rewards programs to unlock even more epic promotions. Only with MyBookie.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL.
Guys, feeling deflated in the bedroom? ED, low T, no energy? If your stuff is broken, call 904-STROKEN or 904stroken.com. No shots in the first treatment, now free. Fix your ED at 904stroken.com.
Universal Roof and Contracting has been protecting Florida homes from the elements for over 30 years. Call Universal Roof and Contracting today for a free roof inspection and get 15% off your roof repair or replacement. Plus, flexible financing options and payments as low as $115 a month. This offer expires September 30th. Call 855-ROOF-HELP.
License number CCC 1330747, CBC 1258484.
UniversalRoof.com.
Before termites attack your home or business and cause costly damage, Terminix it. At Terminix, we know how to stop termites. These destructive pests have been around for millions of years, but before they show up, so do we. And their time is up. Don't live with a termite problem? Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TerMinix.com. TerMinix.com. Terminix it.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. So another Mike, who lost 40 pounds with Awaken 180, was in the same position I was in. And you are most likely confused.
I spent so much money on personal trainers in the last 10 years. Didn't have a lot of discretionary income left. So I tried to listen to everybody else. What do you eat? You know, everyone said, eat healthy. Define eating healthy. Cut out sugar. Tell me what foods don't have sugar. So their process to me was an education. That was really the eye-opening thing to me is I had 10 choices of food in front of me every day. You know, when I was on the run in sales, I was making 8 bad choices. I wasn't eating the 2 good ones. And I loved the 2 good ones. I just didn't know they were good. So I made bad choices every single day. And the program, Awaken 180, really changed my mind, opened my eyes up to, it was a true education on food, what to eat, what not to eat. And it's been fantastic.
Knowing what to eat and the ability to navigate nutritional labels. A proven, clear path for weight loss. Exactly what you will receive with Awaken 180. Leave confusion at the door and do what we did. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Roland Reese Plumbing, one of the great stories for me because I needed them and they were there. And that's how simple it is. A plumber, you call them when you got a leak and you can't wait a week. Roland Reese came through. My water heater was just on bust, and it was leaking out, and he said, don't worry about it. We've got what it's going to take to get there stat. They were in there within a day's time, replaced a big old water heater, made sure I had warm water. I wasn't taking any cold showers. They can do it for you as well. 24/7 emergency service available where quality and experience count. Remember, log on plumbingjacksonville.com and check out Roland Reese Plumbing.
Ride the hurricane wave as the storm brews in South Beach.
Keeping you closer to the U with news and notes from the orange and green on the Hurricane Report on 1010XL.
Brought to you by Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
Roof damage? Call before you claim. Green Law Group, fighting insurance companies for you. They will work for you when you have roof damage. Don't let your insurance deny you. Don't call an adjuster. Call Green Law Group at 904-302-7055. Remember, if you have roof damage, call Greenlaw Group before you claim. They've settled millions and will work hard to get your claim and new roof. Greenlaw Group. Call before you claim. 904-302-7055.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Lauren Brooks here to congratulate my friends at Big Chief Tire. For the 5th year in a row, Big Chief Tire was named the best tire center in Jacksonville for excellence in tire services. Big Chief Tire has served the Jacksonville community for over 60 years with quality tires, brakes, repairs, alignments, and more. Big Chief is known for fair prices and honest service, and they've built a reputation for treating customers like family and offering reliable solutions to keep vehicles safe and running smoothly. Visit BigChiefService.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. It's Mocama Monday on XL Primetime. Head to the tap room in Fernandina Beach every day that ends with Y and enjoy some Mocama.
To win a ball game, it's not about the play calling. It's about the Jimmies and Joes. Execute the play and win the game.
You can look at it that way, 100%. If you want to say, hey, it comes down to the players, like we said, how in the world, in what world do you let that ball get punched out when you're trying to get into the end zone? Now, look, there are mistakes made on a lot of football fields, and we can poke holes in a lot of other things. But the essence of what you wanted yesterday was a dub, okay? You wanted a Duval dub. Go down to the 305, bring it back to the 904. And so mistakes will stay in your brain. And it could be a bad play call, like we'll get into the Doug decision on 4th down, but it also could be the play in the execution.
Well, I mean, listen, this team has faced – my problem with this team is that we faced adversity before. And me and Matt was talking about this in the production room. Didn't we throw 4 interceptions in one playoff game one particular time? Did we not? We threw 4.
Yeah.
Somehow we found a way. That team galvanized and didn't make any excuses for Trevor. It was terrible. The outing was absolutely terrible. So, I mean, this whole thing about ATN cost us the game, I don't think ATN – I think the response to ATN's fumble is what cost you the game. That's what cost you the game, not the fumble. Your response or your lack of response to it. That's what cost you the game. Because bad things happen in the NFL. How you respond to them is more important than the actual occurrence. So, I mean, this team, instead of being galvanized, instead of being saying, you know what, the hell with what happened, we're still going to win this game. I think they shrunk underneath the immense pressure. This team came up short once again.
Well, if you listen to the press conference, guys, it really feels like yesterday, guys like Doug, even guys like Travis Etienne who committed the fumble, they were all saying that after the fumble, everybody's being positive towards Travis Etienne, saying, hey, we're going to continue giving you the ball, keep your head up, this, that, and the third. But I'm with you, Leon. It really didn't feel that way on the field, even though they're saying, it. We were trying to look at this in a positive light and say that we're still in control of this game.
Well, the hell with sunshine and rainbows on the sideline. You got to do something on the field. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing to be saying, hey, man, that's all right. We're good. You got to respond to it on the football field.
Yeah, you go back and you look through the play-by-play after that happened, and we all know it was a 14-point swing. It was 7 going your way, then 7 going the other way. Longest touchdown catch that Tyreek Hill has ever had, which is just crazy when you think about that. But anyway, he takes it 80 yards. So you're talking about an absolute sudden change moment to this ball game. Then Parker Washington almost coughs up the football. Ill-timed decision to.
Well, he did, and he got it back.
And he got it back. You're right. He almost. When I say almost coughed it up, meaning gave it to them. But yeah, he did. Ball popped out. He was able to recover it. Thankfully for him.
How disastrous would that have been?
Oh my gosh! Well, think about this.
That would have been peak Jaguars from last 6 games.
It would have been. It would have been so Jag. But he fights for it. He gets the ball back, and then they are in a situation where they've got to make a decision. And then it just so happens it's at the turn of the quarter, and so they had an opportunity to make a decision. They go for it on 3rd and 1. Tank doesn't get it. And then they come back after the timeout on a 4th and 1 from their own flipping 32 when they're up by 3 points. And that, I don't care what decision you might be pointing to during the game, that was Doug Pederson with plenty of time to make the decision. And when you're leading in a close one-score ball game, I just can't imagine a world that you live in unless it's kind of how you guys are describing it, that you just thought this thing was slipping away from you and you needed to retake control. That was a bad idea.
Yeah, it didn't make any sense to me. I mean, it was a silly decision by Doug to do it, especially when the defense was playing so stellar. The defense actually bailed them out of that situation because we've been talking about that missed field goal actually saved them because the defense hunkered down. They missed the field goal, but that didn't make any sense to put your defense back up against the wall when they had been playing stellar throughout the whole game. I mean, you put them at a disadvantage.
Yeah, here's Doug on that, cut courtesy of Jaguars.com.
Just wanted to stay on the field, execute the play, stay on the field, 1st and 10. They stopped us, made a play, and then, it turned into a good situation because, they ended up missing the field goal there. So, but no, just wanted to stay on the field.
Hey, look, I'm all for just wanting to stay on the field, but I'm also for managing a game properly and putting yourself in a position to where you had control of the game. You lost it with that 14-point swing. You were up by 10, and then suddenly you found yourself in a 3-point game, and you still have the opportunity with the remaining balance of that game to get it done as opposed to say, I just want to stay. I just want to keep the ball.
What does that even mean, I want to stay on the field? I mean, just do the right thing. You don't compromise your defense's efforts and give them a short field and give them an opportunity to score points. This doesn't make any sense to me. Listen, I don't know what analytically speaking, that was just stupid. It was. It was a stupid call.
And look, I'm looking and I'm trying to find positives, and there certainly were some. Like we said, the improved defense, the guys that came in from off the street signed as free agents that made plays for this football team. Tank Bigsby looks as promising as ever. Tank Bigsby might take a little time away from ETN. The whole idea was that these guys would split duties in the backfield, and they may look more like Raheem Mostert and Achane in the back of the Miami Dolphins backfield because Tank Bigsby made himself some plays yesterday and definitely will be part of the game plan going forward.
So after that 4th down call, you didn't like it. I didn't mind it, actually. I didn't.
Oh,
but anyway,
how would you defend it?
You can't defend it, but I don't mind it. It's just a choice. Again, it's a philosophical choice. I don't mind it. So your defense bails you out, right?
Yeah.
And then you get the ball. You start driving. You hit a couple plays. Christian Kirk's got to make that catch on 3rd down, man.
Yeah, he does.
He's got to make that catch. So, I mean, we can talk all we want about, they didn't show any fire, and I don't think they did. But, man, at some point, Christian Kirk missed a throw earlier in the game, too.
Yeah, 2 key
catches. Looked exactly like the
made.
Chiefs. 2 Chiefs throws that they dropped, too.
Trevor let that thing sail on him just a little bit.
Dude, that was right in his hands. He's got to catch that.
I agree.
And he'd be the first person to tell you he's got to catch it. So, I think it's just odd how I'm sure he's comfortable with going to Kirk and he's comfortable going to Ingram. But if Brian Thomas is hot, and he was hot in the first half, where was he? And if they bracketed him, that means everybody else is man. Mm-hmm. So everybody else has got to be open and they got to catch the ball.
All right, so let's make this to Sonny's 10-10 take because this one it really did smoke my head up.
Now, Joe C's 10-10 take. Slow smoked and served up by Sonny's Barbecue. Local pit masters since 68.
Now, trust me, they smoke it in a good way, okay? They smoke it slow. They serve it fast. Sonny's locations all over the First Coast. Lunch, dinner. You are starting your tailgate plans. That's all good. But this one had my head smoked up. I was looking forward to a 16-17 combination that would add up to 7 again and again and again. I thought Evan Ingram was having his best camp. I thought Trevor and Evan were vibing in such a way that they were looking. This is that preseason trap you fall into. They were looking like they were ready for a banner year, that unstoppable combination. And then he had 4 targets and 1 catch. It is a mystery to me, and I'm not quite sure if you can say definitively what Miami took away from that part of Jaguars' game plan. But how in the world did Evan Ingram not get more involved in this ball game, especially when you needed those plays? That's the 10-10.
Because he got new toys to play with. Got about the old one.
I couldn't believe it, man.
I mean, for him to get 4 targets and 1 catch for 5 yards is ridiculous. I mean, did he not forget last year that because when Christian Kirk went down, who took over? Mm-hmm. Evan Ingram. Get that man some touches, man. You got to get the ball in his hands.
And I just think there are count-on guys that you need in the biggest of moments. And I would have thought he would have been one of the count-on guys. That's what I was visualizing.
I got news for everybody. 7's a count on guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Get him the ball.
Look, I'm not even trying to say, hey, less of that and more of this.
Right. I'm just saying, even if he is bracketed, you can scheme it to where you can get him open.
Yeah.
Get him the ball.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, by the way, they got Brian Thomas the ball. That
in the first half,
that 19-yard play with that grab in the back of the end zone was a thing of beauty.
Yeah, and he's going to get PIs.
Yeah, that's what I call him. He's a PI player.
That's 50 lost yards right there. That it's not going to be on his catch, but that's 50 yards of positive yards he gave you by getting that pass interference.
And I know Jaguar fans understand this. And Calvin had a little bit of this last year. He did. He drew PI penalties because of his speed. He didn't necessarily do it all the time or enough, but this is the first PI player this team's had that represents the future since Jimmy Smith. Okay, we didn't know whether Calvin was going to stick around. This guy. Think about it. I cannot think of another player that can take a defender and make them panic. Okay, not just speed with ability to make the play. And he made Jalen panic. And when you make Ramsey panic, you make every Jaguar fan smile.
If Trev gives that thing a little more oomph, now you're talking about a 5-catch, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns, first game of your NFL career. Is that any good?
Pretty good. Really good. I'm also happy that he gave Ramsey the business. Give him a little.
Yeah, I texted you. I think he was talking.
I appreciate that.
There's no doubt he was talking.
Yeah, he got a little moxie about it. Ain't no telling what he said to him. He probably said, "Don't hold me, old man." That's what he probably said. I'm hoping he said.
Oh, you can't. You can't hold me.
You can't hold me, old man.
All right, that was beautiful. All right, so we mentioned him. He's a PI player, and so is the guy on the other end, Tyreek Hill. I was visualizing Jacksonville taking him to the ground multiple times yesterday. I didn't know that the Popo was going to take him to the ground. So let's say hello to our friends at Campion Law and just at least ask the question, where does it go from here? We'll recount the events from yesterday with Tyreek Hill before the game started. It's XL Primetime on a Mokama Beer Company Monday.
Buckle up. You're in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios with XL Primetime on 1010XL. Find your new Honda at your 8 local Honda dealers.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes, and your time at home should be stress-free. The last thing you want to worry about is a clogged drain or your hot water not working. So do what I did and call my friends at Fenwick Home Services. They can replace or repair your home's plumbing systems and fixtures fast. Fenwick offers 24/7 same-day service and can fix any plumbing problem you have. With free same-day estimates and guaranteed repairs, the pros at Fenwick Home Services get the job done right the first time. You can also save on future emergencies with $50 off any repair. Online at FenwickHomeservices.com.
Are you still asking the question, why Arlington? Lucky for you, I've got all the answers. Mia here. Arlington's lot is packed with new Toyotas in stock in one location, ready to go home with you today. 60-day exchange. That's 60 days to love your new Toyota purchase or exchange it for one that you do. Worried about financing? There's the Arlington Credit Helper. You even get a complimentary car wash with every service. So instead of asking, why Arlington? I'm going to ask, why aren't you here yet? 10939 Atlantic Boulevard or at arlingtontoyota.com.
Post-game Monday on 1010XL is brought to you by Dandy Foods, makers of quality fresh sandwiches and home of the good stuff.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm dedicated to helping businesses manage risk, maximize opportunities, and move their company forward. Jimerson Burr attorneys are business-oriented lawyers, equally comfortable as community leaders, private transaction counselors, or courtroom advocates. If you have a legal issue of any kind affecting your business, contact the firm at 389-0050 or jimersonfirm.com.
If you suffer from constant burning, tingling, or numbness in your hands or feet, it could be a serious condition called neuropathy. I'm Dr. Nathan Riddle, DC with Riddle Wellness in Ponte Vedra. Neuropathy is treatable, and we have seen great results by using state-of-the-art, non-invasive therapies to target damaged nerves, reduce symptoms, and improve nerve function. Call 904-395-5598 to schedule your free consultation today and learn how you can live pain-free. Call 904-395-5598.
There's certain places if you go in, they got what you're looking for, like Gate Convenience Stores and Cold Modelo's. That's the ticket. Or get on the craft side of things with something from Bold City or Sweetwater. Hit the cooler at Gate. Full of choices and all of them good.
Brian and Angela Wall here with Window World.
Hurricanes happen in Florida. That's not news. But what happens even more often than hurricanes are home break-ins. And if security is important to you, you might want to look into hurricane-rated impact windows.
What you may not know is that hurricane-rated impact windows not only help protect your home in case of a hurricane, but they also offer another level of security for your home.
Have you seen those videos on YouTube that show people trying to break through an impact window? A thief is way too lazy to spend his energy trying to break through one of our impact windows. That's why he doesn't have a real job like you. He'd rather break your non-impact window while you're at work. Window World has high-quality, very affordable hurricane-rated impact windows to help protect your home from hurricanes and from lazy thieves.
Call us today at 904-443-7001. Get a free estimate and see for yourself. You save energy, get more security, and the windows add value to your home. With all Window World windows, you get the best guarantee in the window replacement business.
Window World, simply the best for less. And thank you for your business.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On September 9, 2021, quarterback Tom Brady becomes the first player in NFL history to start 300 regular season games, as he guided the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to an opening day game win.
Hi, it's Ben, second generation from Beards Diamonds. Guys, if you're popping the question soon, looking for an anniversary gift, before you buy anywhere, shop Beards. From a half carat to 10 carats, Beards will beat any competitor's price.
In the St. John's Town Center or at beardsdiamonds.com.
Homeowners, good news for you. Accent on 4. Listen up. Loan Pronto now has mortgage rates that start with a 4. Prosser here. It's true. Mortgage rates have plummeted. So low, we haven't seen them in a long time. If your current rate is over 6%, you can dump it and lower your house payment big time. Loan Pronto just locked in a homeowner at 4.99% APR. So whether you got your loan last week, last month, or last year, it's time to call Loan Pronto. Even if you're in process with another lender, stop now. Call Loan Pronto. Ask about their zero-cost rate reduction home loan. You can lock in a lower rate with no closing costs in a matter of days, with almost no paperwork and usually no appraisal. And if you act now, you can even skip your next 2 house payments. Call now. Loan Pronto can give you a rate quote in minutes with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. Call 904-999-1508 or loanpronto.com. Call 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. Owner approved credit, NMLS consumeraccess.org.
The experts at AMCO have been fixing cars for almost 60 years. Over that time, they've gotten more complex than ever. That's why our techs undergo rigorous training and certifications, so they can fix anything, including the most complicated repairs that come with some of the latest technologies. After 60 years, there's nothing we haven't seen or fixed. It's how we know cars inside and out.
Money tight? We can finance almost anybody. Find the AMCO transmissions nearest you at amcojacksonville.com.
What defines a hero? Dedication, loyalty, courage. Every day at AMCO, we serve heroes. For over 60 years, we've repaired and maintained the most critical public service vehicles. From complex transmissions to simple brake jobs with flexible financing and the extra safety precautions we need. The heroes we serve don't all wear uniforms. They're people like you. At AMCO, we're proud to serve all of you. AA MCO.
Family owned and operated in Jacksonville, Orange Park, St. Augustine, and St. Mary's, Georgia.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
It was the play that changed the game on Sunday at Miami.
They hand it this time to Etienne. Etienne made a man miss to the 5. He fumbled the ball. Etienne has fumbled the ball into the end zone. Oh, my goodness. He was going to have a first down inside the 5-yard line, and he fumbled it, and the Dolphins have recovered in the back of the end zone.
Frank Frangie with the call on Jaguars radio. Jeff Prosser with his reaction this morning.
It was a setback. It was a momentum-killing fumble. Shouldn't have been a death blow. And it was a death blow. They weren't winning that game.
Jeff Prosser this morning on The Drill. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Garber Auto Mall phone line.
Hello.
We can wiggle it.
It's a pleasure to welcome Campione Law on to XL Primetime. My man, Chris Campione, boarding the plane coming back from Boston, but we got one of his guys, Sam Harshins, who joins us now on the Tyreek Hill case after what happened before the game, hours before the game, we saw video all over social media with Tyreek Hill cuffed up. Sam, welcome in. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Hey, no doubt. What you saw unfold, how bizarre was it, and what do you make of what happened in terms of the decision to get Tyreek out of the car, and ultimately he was on the ground and handcuffed?
Yeah, well, I mean, we all saw those videos online going viral with the police officer having his knee onto his back. I believe this is really just a rapid escalation of the facts. You can make out in some of the videos where the officer is telling him to put his window down, but then it seems not even a second later, he's then forcing him out of the car. So normally when you have stops like this, the detained person should be compliant. They should be cooperating. In this case, it doesn't seem like the officer was even providing Mr. Hill with even a second to respond or be cooperative. And so this seems like a huge escalation that was unnecessary. And then putting it right before game day, that's only going to make it go more viral. And that's why you have that officer now on administrative leave.
Yeah, Sam, I watched the video, and it seemed egregious and aggressive for a traffic violation. And listen, I've been to that stadium. I've been to Hard Rock. Miami Hurricanes play there or whatever. And most of the times I know that the police officers there, they have an idea who the guys are that are coming in the stadium. So that's what threw me off a little bit. Did it not you?
It did, because he's not just driving a Camry or a Civic out there. He's driving a sports car. It's very obvious he's a player heading to the game, and he's going towards the stadium. There's so many facts here that make it seem egregious how he was treated. So that's why I believe when his agent's saying there will be ramifications, there absolutely will be down the road.
Sam, it's not a situation with Scotty Scheffler where it was one road in, one road out in Louisville. That's like a gigantic, like maybe the biggest parking lot in the NFL, and there's like 10 roads that feed into that parking lot. So there's no way they could say they didn't know who he was or where he was going or what it was all about, especially when he first rolled down the window and said, "Hey, man, it's Tyreek," right?
Yeah, and especially with NFL teams, they'll have a player's lot, and so he's probably driving to that specific player's lot. So there's a lot of facts where it kind of implies this is someone that's not the typical NFL goer. This is someone that's a part of the game that needs to be there on time, and that's why they said he was allegedly speeding. If he was speeding, that probably provides the purpose of why he was going that fast.
We called our counselor at Campion Law, Sam Harson's joining us for a couple more. When let's just say it's the attorney or Drew Rosenhaus, who Leon knows well, Drew was his agent as well, but when they said they're going to look into this, and now you've heard from Miami-Dade police say that one of the officers has been put on administrative leave, where does it go from here?
Well, there's a couple of different ways they can go. Obviously, the investigation has to play its course, so they're going to complete that. And once we get that investigation completed, we'll have a better sense of what steps are going to be taken next. I would not be surprised to see a civil case filed in Miami-Dade. I saw some articles showing where Tyreek was saying that he was flustered and frustrated after the incident and that he almost didn't play in the game. There's probably some sort of emotional distress happening there, and that can provide some basis to file a claim in court.
You know what, Sam? It was interesting. I was watching Tyreek Hill's presser, and he said that, man, I'm in this particular moment, I'm glad that I was Tyreek Hill, because in other situations, it could have been, a situation where someone could have been harmed even more and not get the kind of press that he's getting right now.
Exactly, and that's the terrible part, is that if it wasn't for his name, this could have been some random out there, and then it could have been a far worse situation.
Sam, we appreciate it. So they can easily log on if they need any help for representation. They certainly can log on, CampionLawPA.com, Champions for Justice. Sam, we really appreciate it.
That's right. I appreciate you guys. Have a great day.
All right, man. Sam Harson's from over there.
You know what?
At Campion Law.
Here's the problem with this, okay, is there are some great law enforcement guys out there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
But it's idiots like this that make everybody think, oh, this is the police. And it's not. The problem is this shouldn't be underplayed. This is a real story. This is a real story, and he should sue them.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying he should sue them for money for himself. What I would do if I was him, I would sue him and I would donate whatever proceeds you get. Yeah. But the point is, this happens, and it's real. It's not just it's an NFL player, and he was speeding, and he thought he was great. No, man, this stuff happens all the time. All the time.
And I'm looking at, you guys must have seen this, but the celebration after the touchdown, was it Waddle and Tyreek Hill getting together where he had him in cuffs? Is that, come on.
Ain't got no sense. Neither one of them.
The difference is I think Waddle was standing, and Tyreek was literally face down.
Yeah.
Face down on the concrete.
And by the way,
in that giant parking lot.
Yeah.
Like they didn't know it was him? Seriously.
Right. Let's bring it back. Calais Campbell, one of the stars in a Jaguars uniform, was driving by and stopped and tried to let him know, hey, this guy is a football player, yada, yada, yada. And it wasn't just him, but there were other Miami Dolphins players that were pulling over. It got
Calais
crazy.
was cuffed.
Mm-hmm.
He was cuffed too.
Oh, I didn't know Calais was cuffed too. Really?
They said he was cuffed
for a brief second.
Yeah, for a brief second.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's just nuts. And then by the way, Calais got in the backfield pretty early in this ball game.
By the way, that was great, but he guessed on that.
Yeah,
he totally guessed on that naked play. Totally.
He did. All right, so as we get it back from that.
Nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying he guessed.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what you have to do, because I don't know how you let a big man like that leave him unblocked in the interior part, but they made a decision. I think that was the right tackle pull him. Is that what it was?
No, they were running play action and everybody's flowing down, and he went up at the field.
So he just crashed
down. It's a flow play. They expect him to move with the flow, but he guessed on it.
Well,
he guessed.
Yeah. The first two plays. I thought
he totally guessed on that.
A welcome back party the way they gave him the plays, the first two plays. I was like, "What are y'all welcoming him back to Jacksonville? Stop it!"
Although I will say, I say he guessed, but the reality is, honest, they run that naked a lot for first play of the game, a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so look, we get back to the game.
Film study is what it is.
Yeah, we're going to say hello to our quarterback whisperer in the 3:00 hour, but just to get back to the game. We saw those types of plays, and it was a breakdown towards the end. Anton Harrison did not have a particularly good game. Cam Robinson did not have a particularly good game. But as a whole, like we said, for 3/4 of this ball game, they were doing their job. They were making room for the run game and giving Trevor a decent amount of time.
Well, here's the thing. Cam Robinson, he's going to be credited for the sack, but Ezra Cleveland is just as he gave up responsible for the sack because he was up and down. He led his defender up the field like he was an usher in church. Yeah. All right, he was showing them to the front of the church.
What'd you say? He's an usher.
Yes, he was. If you saw it, and then Cam
follow me,
and then Cam's guy came around, looped over, and made the sack. All right. Now Anton Harrison's. Listen. As much as I bragged about this kid in the offseason, he resorted back to his old ways his rookie year, and I don't know if it was him being tired or him being fatigued, but I always say your kick angles are important, especially on the road, because you can't hear.
And he was trying to send a guy up the field, which is fine, but you can't be at a bad angle sending the guy up the field because you're going to send him right to your quarterback.
Yeah, he had terrible angle sets, and and for the most part, when I've watched this kid last year, his progression out of his stance is nice and smooth, but for whatever reason, he shortcutted himself, and then the defender got around the end on him. So he's got to work on that.
I tell you what, man, it was tough, that's for sure. All right, let me give you some examples of what we got when we put out there a very basic question, 3 words to describe a 3-point loss by your Jacksonville Jaguars, and it certainly was one that stung, I would think, for most, because you're talking about a game that you felt like you were in a great position to win it, and then you weren't able to get the job done. Let me tell you something. On X, I love all y'all, all of Duval and beyond, whenever you jump in on these things, at 1010XL Joe C. But there were some that were absolutely not G-rated. They were X-rated, and it made me laugh. But some of the G-rated ones, 3 words, same old story. Another one, disappointing, heartbreaking, bummed. Another one, fire, Doug, immediately. That's a little harsh. SSS, you can figure that one out. Score more points. Fumble, Travis fumble. Absolute meltdown offensively. Another one, 3 words. Are we surprised? Another one, which was very popular, same old Jags. Another one, typical, nothing changes. Address O-line, please, was one of them that was brought up. Can't handle adversity. And so it went on and on and on. 100% coaching. Let's just at least stop right there just for a second and stay there, and then I'll give you a few more.
Before you go any further, we're doing this every week.
Yeah.
Every week we are doing this.
Well, let me tell you something.
This is phenomenal.
I'm not expecting any more L's on this.
Even when it's a dub, we're doing this every week.
Okay. All right. We'll see. But let's get to the one criticism that Doug had, because people are piling on him. But the one criticism that he had about his defense.
Which you're not going to believe this. Yeah. Do we have this, RJ?
I don't. I don't know. We don't have it yet, but we were talking about it. And so, listen, he gets on. He says we need to coach and play better on that side of the ball. And you know what? I don't. As much as I'm blaming.
No, I actually don't think. He said we need to coach it better. Is what he said. I don't think.
No. I thought it was coach and play better.
I think it's the coach. Yeah. We need to coach it better.
You know, sometimes I like to hear things.
I'm pretty sure he said. So he's at his press conference today. He's talking about the couple big plays they gave up on defense, and he's talking about how we need to coach it better. And I just look. I get it. Maybe you do need to coach that specific play. How the receivers were leaking out there.
Yeah,
I get that. But after the way your defense played and basically gave you an opportunity to win week 1 on the road in the NFL, I wouldn't say a dang word about the way you're coaching.
Yeah, well, I think
I would say it in the locker room maybe, or in a coach's meeting maybe. Yeah, right. Sure. No way would I say that public.
Well, especially there wasn't much that changed from last year to this year with Miami. Would you guys agree with that? Not much change offensively, right?
The defensive line was not as good this year.
No, I'm saying just Miami's offense. Nothing really changed from last year to this. Last year, they were first in yards per game and second in points per game. So we know what they were. And so for this defense to hold them to 17 points until a last-second field goal decided the game, that is pretty good. I'm certainly not going to take that away from them.
Well, under 300 yards to the last 2 drives of the game.
Yeah, and granted,
when they were dog-tired.
They may have been gassed, but they gave up. They held the running game down. They just gave up too many of these little either bubble screen plays or little wheel routes to the running back.
Yeah, but you know what's interesting? The Miami Dolphins do all this motion and formation and stuff like that. That's in my opinion, that's to hide the fact that up front they're soft. They're a soft offensive line, and I think you do all that kind of stuff interchangeable with motions and all that kind of stuff because you know you got the weapons outside and you know that you're a liability inside. So if you can garner enough time to where you can get those guys out on bubble screens or quick stuff like that, because you know that up front you can. And I think that for the most part, I think we took advantage of the fact that we got after them pretty good and covered them pretty good, but. When it was all said and done, we gave up too many big plays, to be quite honest with you.
That's the part.
You can't give up 80. You can't give up 60.
No, those are the ones that hurt the most, that's for sure. All right, a couple more. 3 words to describe the 3-point loss. Can never finish. Fire Press Taylor. I think you guys would admit that's probably a popular one. Play 4 quarters. ETN, Kirk, coaching. Epic choke job. A crying shame. Plenty more, that's for sure. So, SOS, that's also a very popular one. All right, let's get into the 3 o'clock hour. Quarterback Whisperer coming our way. Mocama Beer Company Monday.
If offense and defense don't win the game, sometimes it's up to the special team.
And here comes the field goal team. They've got to hurry.
After the game, catch the Crown Royal Special Teams Player of the Game. Live generously and life will treat you royally on 1010XL. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
1 second left. Packers are down by 6 at the goal line. Your defense is the only thing stopping them from scoring. Is your team prepared? Double-Check Cybersecurity has your back. With an AI-powered defense, start your 14-day trial at doublecheck.com.
Guys, feeling deflated in the bedroom? ED, low T, no energy? If your stuff is broken, call 904-STROKEN or 904stroken.com. No shots in the first treatment, now free. Fix your ED at 904stroken.com.
Cruising with XL Primetime in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL.
Zebra. Zebra is back by overwhelming demand. Saturday night, September 14th, live at the Florida Theater in Jacksonville, performing songs from all 5 Zebra albums. Zebra. Get tickets now before they're gone at floridatheater.com. Zebra with all original members, Saturday night, September 14th. Tickets on sale now. Don't miss Zebra.
I'm Stacy, and I want to tell you about my fogged up window fiasco at my house. I called up Mac at Baker Glass, and he told me all I needed was a glass replacement. The process was so easy. All within a few days, they came out, measured, called me with an estimate, cut my glass, and came out to install the new ones. Now my view outside is fog-free thanks to Mac and his crew at Baker Glass. And my neighbors think I got some fancy new windows.
I'm Mac with Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Roof damage? Call before you claim. Green Law Group, fighting insurance companies for you. They will work for you when you have roof damage. Don't let your insurance deny you. Don't call an adjuster. Call Green Law Group at 904-302-7055. Remember, if you have roof damage, call Green Law Group before you claim. They've settled millions and will work hard to get your claim and new roof. Green Law Group. Call before you claim. 904-302-7055.
Family, football, and Friday night traditions connect the past with the present.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists Friday Night Lights.
With Hacker and Andrew Gibson, presented by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning on 1010XL.
PRP treatment is kind of the thing these days, and in many cases, it eliminates the need for surgery. This is Sheridan Tootin, and my experience with PRP from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has been nothing short of great. I'm really feeling much better now. Ask your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist doctor about PRP treatment.
This is Dr. Kevin Murphy with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, where athletes are treated like pros.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Okay, you've decided it's time to sell your home. How do you go from a problem to a promise? Listen, there are problems that come with selling one's homes, but with the promise of ChadandSandy.com, you're going to get there, and you're going to get there in the best possible way. You see, here's the promise. Your home sold guaranteed, or they will buy it. So go to ChadandSandy.com. Listen, lots of stories of proof out there. We're going to get to those in just a second. But maybe you need more space for your office or growing family, or you're worried about costly repairs. Chad and Sandy are the local real estate experts you can trust. We recommend them for the sale of your home. They guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price. By a deadline, or they'll buy it. No required costly repairs. Pick your move date. No long-term contracts. You get it all with Chad and Sandy. Don't believe me? Ask Stephen and Marlene in Eagle Hammock. We needed to move quickly to Ohio to be with family. We heard about Chad and Sandy on the radio, and all we heard is true. Call Chad and Sandy today, or go to ChadandSandy.com.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes Summers here, so let's talk about something sizzling, making a Bacon 180 with a Waken 180. Imagine dropping pounds while still enjoying that crisp, savory goodness. Well, it's on the menu at Awaken 180, and one of the many reasons I lost 40 pounds in 9 weeks on Awaken 180 weight loss. I did it all while still enjoying so many of my favorite foods. The difference is, my coach showed me how to enjoy those foods the right way. Chicken, steak, pork, lobster, they're all on the menu. Awaken 180 caters to any diet or taste profile, vegetarian, vegan, omnivore, even flexitarian. I'm not kidding. That's a thing. They're all covered. The bottom line, if you want to lose weight fast and safe and keep it off with lifetime coaching, then make your own Bacon 180 with Awaken 180. Do what I did, Mike Dempsey and Hacker, and more than 21,000 others online at Awaken180weightloss.com. That's Awaken180weightloss.com.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwoods. Clayton, I've seen ads for diamonds where you see the words all diamonds certified by IGI, EGL, or GIA. Just what does all that mean?
Frank, it's confusing because those letters represent various diamond grading laboratories. However, it's important to point out that labs don't certify anything. They issue diamond grading reports. The only entity that can certify the diamond is the seller. There's one exception to that, and that's members of the American Gem Society have the ability to certify diamonds through their partnership with the American Gem Society Laboratory. That's because it's the only partnership in the world where an organization devoted to consumer protection through gemological education and ethics has a laboratory built on the exact same principles. We have these certificates at Underwoods, but more importantly, we have American Gem Society certified gemologists that look at all of these diamonds and put our grade and our certification of the diamond's quality on it. And believe me, that's important.
This is Molly McDonald with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Local Sports Update. Brought to you by JEA. Many high school football games were canceled due to weather Friday night. Bishop Kenny and Decoy Creek still battled it out with Bishop Kenny winning 36-6, moving their winning streak to 3 to start the season. BK running back Caleb Madison scored on the opening drive, running one in from 65 yards. Bishop Kenny will go head-to-head with Bulls this Friday at home at 7 o'clock. The Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp close out their series against Louisville with a 9-8 win yesterday afternoon. The Shrimp got the momentum back in the 5th when Hostler hit a 2-run triple, putting Jacksonville in the lead. The Shrimp stay on the road and travel to Charlotte, where they'll take on the Knights starting tomorrow at 6:35. The FSU Seminoles get back at it this week after being on a bye week last week, hoping to get back into the winning column. They'll host Memphis this Saturday at 12 o'clock. It's 80 degrees at 3 o'clock time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the quarterback whisperer, Denny Thompson.
Okay, bring it in.
Brought to you by Tyson Sound and Security, security and automation experts, and George Moore Chevrolet.
1, 2, 3.
All right, we got our quarterback whisperer in the house, Denny Thompson, as we talk all things quarterback, starting here, going there, and then beyond. Does that make sense, Denny?
Absolutely, man.
Starting
What a weekend.
here, going there. And then
what a weekend.
Oh, my gosh. So we're going to go in reverse. We're going to throw in reverse. We're going to go NFL first and then college. So if you guys want to throw a question, the quarterback whispers rate 641-1010, because we saw some really strong performances, and then we also saw some stuff that made you go, damn. But let's begin with Tua versus Trevor, and we felt like this was, in a lot of ways, hey, which quarterback is ready to take that next big step, right? Neither one of them were regarded by most people in the offseason as a top 10 quarterback, but just on the outside looking in. Anyway, Tua throws for 338. They held serve with Tua for a lot of that football game until he got off a couple of big plays late. And then Trevor ultimately was not able to get it done because that line caved in on him again at the end. What did you think of the two quarterbacks?
Do y'all find yourself like arguing with yourself about the Jags and Trevor constantly?
Yeah.
Because I watched the game and didn't see stats during the game. Didn't feel like Trevor was the issue at all during the game.
No.
In fact, thought he played fairly well.
Mm-hmm.
And then woke up this morning and let other people tell me the stats. And I'm like, oh, wow. Like, it's not that good. I don't even know what I watched yesterday, which is the problem. Like, I still don't know how that game ends up the way it ends up. I mean, yes, the ETN fumble, but even that, here's what I saw. I'll put it this way. Mm-hmm. Here's what I saw. I saw a team that was, the Jags are a better football team than the Dolphins, flat out. The Jags are the better football team, but I saw a team who let a fumble turn them into fatigued. Because the minute that fumble happened, all of a sudden, both lines of scrimmage started getting blown off the ball. The minute that something bad happened, all of a sudden, the Jags were really tired, and there was nothing that they could do about it. But before that, It looked the other way around. I don't know how you fix that, but, man, if they don't figure that out, because something bad's going to happen in every single NFL game.
Yeah.
It's not going to be that bad, but something bad is going to happen, and how you respond, boy, that seems to be the problem for the last 8 or 9 games for the Jags.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's a Trevor thing, but at the same time, I think Trevor is good enough that he should overcome that, and he doesn't. So I don't know what the steps are at this point.
And you know what? That's the reason why I'm glad you're here, because I've got quarterback envy. Let me tell you why. Because I saw Josh Allen. I saw him go down 17 to Arizona, and I saw him galvanize the team, put the team on his back, and find a way to win that freaking game. And that's what I'm. You know what? I want 2022 Trevor against the Chargers. Mm-hmm. That's what I need. Mm-hmm. I need that guy that says, you know what? I threw 4 picks, but I'm still going to bring this team back. I think that's what I'm looking for from Trevor. And I'm trying to. When am I ever going to get it again?
Man, that's probably the best example you could give to, because I was watching the Bills game. And you sit there and you watch, and you're like, Josh Allen's not playing that great right now. But then you look up, and you're like, Josh Allen's winning this football game. That's probably the best analogy that you can get from yesterday, and that's the thing that I agree with you on. Leon is missing, and I don't. Is that a Jags issue? Is that a Trev issue? I mean, they seem to have all the pieces. They look like a great football team for 3.5 quarters, and then bam, just wild. Why you just don't? You don't see that in the NFL the way it happened yesterday. What was it? Fumble, next play touchdown, and then fumble kickoff that they recovered.
Yeah, lucky to
man,
recover.
guys, y'all are pros, man. You got to turn that around in your head. That next play mentality is really real. I know everybody thinks that's coach speak, but there ain't a dang thing you can do about that fumble that next play. Like something has got to change over there as far as the way that they look at adversity.
Well, that's what those 5 free agents were supposed to be. They were supposed to be guys that come from winning programs that know just that. One play does not define a game, and you can't crumble in the moment. So that's a big issue for me. It's also, too, Danny, I think I look at this offense, and you go from being just a smooth, attacking, aggressive unit in the first half. You would agree with that, correct?
Yeah.
I mean, that last minute, 5-second drive was beautiful.
Yep.
They knew they needed points. They were going to double dip and get points in the third quarter. Everything was going to be great. They were going to take a huge lead. And you come out in the first drive of the third quarter, and what in the world were they doing?
Yeah.
They're running a flipping tunnel screen, Denny. A tunnel screen.
I can't defend anything they're doing. I was the guy last year that all the way through it said, Trevor's hurt. They're a good team. They got a good roster. I'm not gonna do that again this entire year. Like, I'm not gonna sit here after a loss and tell you all the good things. But that's the.
And there were good things. There's no doubt
there
there
were
were
a lot of good things, and that's a really good football team and a really good roster. Man, that defensive line is going to be so much fun to watch. But Leon, did you see what I said though? Like, did you see when that turned around? All of a sudden, that defensive line got tired like that, where they had no room to run the Dolphins all day, and then all of the sudden, it's like, man, the Jags got tired all of a sudden. Did you see that?
That was the most disappointing thing, is the fact that as soon as the turnover happened, it seems like the air was let out of the balloon. Everything that they had worked so hard for, because they were controlling the line of scrimmage, they were controlling the tempo of the game, and then that fumble, all of a sudden they got fatigued, they got tired, and then they forgot how to execute on both sides of the ball. And you can't have that with a team.
That's maturity, man. And I know you're saying, a bunch of those guys are old. No, that's team maturity. That's, if you don't fumble that ball, you go in 24-7. They win that game 31-7, and everybody's going, oh my gosh, look at this Jags
without
team.
question.
Look at this Jags team, 31-7 on the road, week 1 in the NFL. Everybody's praising this club.
Well, it's like being in the moment and being successful in the moment.
Yes,
and they have
you got to be mature. You have to understand that.
Leon, did y'all like that happens in every game, right? There's a moment in every game where, especially in the NFL, where the game's in balance. Like, did y'all, when you played, did you have a guy or a group of guys that kind of helped you, bring you out of that? Were you that guy, or was it just a team mentality?
No, it was conversations that we had on the sideline with one another. So if the defense, let's say the defense gave up a big play, bomb or whatever, right, and they tied up the game or whatever, we go to the defense. Don't worry about D. We're gonna go down here and score. We're gonna get the ball and we're gonna score. Or the defense, if we had like an interception or a fumble, the defense will come in and say, "Hey man, don't worry about that. We're gonna get y'all the ball back." So it's those are intimate conversations that you're having with certain guys on your team, and you're saying, "Hey, listen, we got your back." We understand that those type of things happen, and we don't overreact to them. We just the subtlety is, okay, hey dog, don't worry about that. If you give up that touchdown, that bomb, whatever, you know what? We're gonna get the ball. We're gonna score again.
Did y'all have the feeling when that fumble happened yesterday that it was like, oh no?
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah. Well,
immediately.
Yeah, I did.
Right away, it was like, oh, we lost.
Okay, I don't even know if I went that far, but obviously the next play,
I 100% did.
I guess what I went from is what the H. And then the 14-point swing, that one got me. And then the ball popping out of Parker's hands. And then at the very least, he recovered it. And then when they go for it on fourth down, then I'm thinking, it's gone. It's a wrap.
Let me just tell you this.
Then they missed the field goal, and you're still in it.
Right, but listen to this, Joe. So Danny said that. I said that. I can guarantee you 98% of the fans in the city were like, oh, my God, here we go.
There he goes.
And here's the worst part. There were guys in that roster, I guarantee you, were saying, oh, boy.
That's where I was going.
Oh,
that's
boy.
the problem.
That's where I was going right there, because I sat there with my son and my wife yesterday, and the minute that fumble happened, I literally said out loud, well, they lost.
Yeah.
That's it. We can turn the channel. That's it. And you know that's in their head, too. Like, that, it's
How
wild.
could it not after the way last season ended? How could it not?
No, but so what y'all are saying that this team is a bunch of front runners. If they don't have the lead, they don't know how to handle adversity.
It looks that way.
Well, yeah, because honestly, this does look like it's light years removed.
Walks like a duck and quacks like a duck.
I'm just saying, and that's not a good indication of what we hope this team to be if they're just front runners. So you're basically saying that they can't find a way. in the midst of a game to settle themselves and gather themselves.
Remember, this is what they look like. They're light years removed from coming back from double-digit deficits.
Yeah,
remember
that was over 2 years ago.
22.
Yeah,
they would look up and they go, okay, let's take care of business. We're down by 10, 12, 17, whatever it was. They would come back.
Well, here's the good news: it's week 1.
Yeah,
and so I mean, now as a team, like I think you have to find those guys because it's not a team like you guys were. It's not a team that can trustfully say, hey, man, it's okay because we're going to get a 3 and out. No, they're not. They're going to give up an 80-yard bomb.
Yeah,
right? That's not. So they've got to find some way now while it's still young and can still be recovered, and that don't even matter, where you make that a positive and you say, all right, we're going to grow as a team. And there's going to be a couple of guys that have to get uncomfortable, but we need a different type of leadership in here.
I'd like to see that. I thought it was starting to manifest itself in the offseason with what you saw on the defensive side and the Trevor talk. I'd like to see that. Here's a saucy, and this will drive you crazy because they were up by double digits. First time in 45 years that 3 teams trailed by at least 14 points and came back to win in week 1.
Wow.
Okay?
Saucy nugs.
And you think about it. Chicago was down 17. Buffalo down 14, Miami down 14. So that was a historical performance by your Jags. The last time this happened, as far as that many teams coming back on kickoff weekend, 1979. 1979.
That's wild.
Yeah, it hurts.
That's wild. I do think there's a lot of, and this ain't the time for it. Nobody wants to hear it. But the reality is there's a lot of really good things that came out of that game early on.
There was a lot to like.
Yeah.
There was a lot to like. But let me ask you this one tough question, Denny. And like I said, I think like you started off our conversation, Trevor did some nice things. Sat in the pocket, had time, delivered the ball. Gabe made big plays. Brian Thomas, obviously, that catch and that throw. We're talking about some really good stuff. But how can he avoid those last 2 plays where he can get out of a bad situation? Because it's not all his fault, but he needs to operationally figure out a way to get out of
that. Man, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. And I'm not trying to dodge the question, but the answer may be in this. There's no way that you should ever lose a game with Trevor throwing for 180 yards.
Yeah.
He is at least the type of guy that when you look up, if you lost a game, he threw for 310, 330. Yeah. Like on some level right there, that's an issue because when was the last time Trevor had that statistical just breakout game? It's been a long, long time. Like, I don't know if you're from a play calling or an offensive identity perspective, like are you putting enough on him? We talk about like are you putting enough of the game in his hands? Like
as an example, 21 throws versus 26 toes.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just don't think I think you have to let that guy go. And I know last year we talked about, you need to run the ball more, you need to run the ball better. But y'all, in today's day and age, the way you run the ball better is if you're throwing the ball really well.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I just don't think that they're putting enough on Trevor. I think that if you lose a game, then 16 should have had 41 pass attempts.
And so that's how that ball needs to go down the field to get the bodies off the line of scrimmage, which is what we've been talking about. So 12 of 21 for $162, and they ran it 26 times for $128.
12 completions?
That's it. That is it. And so all right, so here's a quick question, and then we need to get to a few others. Why can Trevor not seem to get the elite quarterback stats? This goes right to your question with regard to yards and touchdowns. Does Doug not trust him to go win a game through the air? I don't know, but it does seem like in those situations, that's where they can load up on him from a defensive pass rush point of view.
Yeah, if I could be wrong on this. Maybe he's not at this point developmentally. Only Doug and Press and the people down there know, but it feels like Trevor should be at a point now where he should be able to sit in shotgun and he should be able to look at what they're doing, and he should be able to put you in the right play. And I don't know, does he have the freedom, the flexibility to do that? And then he should be able to execute the play. They got some guys around him. The offensive line wasn't great, but I didn't think it was terrible yesterday.
No, not at all. I didn't think so either. All right, so let's get into a couple of other ones. We got to bring up Anthony Richardson. Some unbelievable moments in that game. Texans win over the Colts. We'll talk about a couple of them in the NFL, but also we'll get to a couple from the college game. Quinn Ewers had himself a game against Michigan up in Ann Arbor. So we'll do all that with our quarterback whisperer coming up. A Mokama Beer Company Monday. Don't forget Mokama.com. You can find them all over the First Coast, but their tap room is right there on South 8th in the historic part of Fernandina Beach and their Wildlight location.
The weekly Pick'em contest. Make the best picks and win a pizza party from Salvatore's Pizza at Tapestry Park. Pick the worst. You'll still win some pizza, just not enough for a party. Brought to you by MyBookie. Make your picks at 1010XL.com.
Who has the best lineup this season? Honda. Cars, trucks, SUVs, vans, hybrids, and electric. This is one of the greatest lineups Honda has ever had. And now is the best time to purchase or lease one. Visit your local Honda dealer now. Remember, only a Honda is a Honda.
Injured in an accident? Have mounting medical bills? Can't work? Don't worry. Zach's got your back. I'm Zach Von Rowan of Von Rowan Law. I will fight for the compensation that you deserve. Set up your free consultation at zachsgotyourback.com.
You're riding in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios. XL Primetime on 1010XL.
Brian Wall here. Would you take your paycheck, go to the bank, cash it, and then simply throw it up in the air? I didn't think so. But in a way, over the years, that is exactly what you're doing if you have old or builder-grade windows in your home. Even if you have a brand new home, those windows are not the best windows you can have to save on your energy bills. Window World has sold millions of replacement windows to homeowners like you, and Window World's customer satisfaction is the highest in the business. Please check Window World out yourself and save on your new windows and on your energy bills. Compare with other companies and you'll see Window World is simply the best for less. It's up to you. You can call Window World and get a free estimate, get the best guarantee in the window replacement business, save money on your new windows, and save more on your energy bills. Call Window World today at 904-443-7001 or go online to windowworldneflorida.com. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. You know, pool design has come a long way, and if your pool is outdated, Stanley Pools specializes in bringing older pools up to date for the whole family to enjoy. That's why I did it a few years ago, and man, I love the way my pool looks now after we added travertine pavers and so much else. Stanley Pools has been serving our community since 1988, so call them today at 269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Brackish Vodka, the official vodka of UNF Athletics, 100% made in Jacksonville, is available at all local liquor stores. Visit Browdy's, Total Wine, ABC, Shores, Golden, Sahara's, Golden Ox, and more. Drink our gluten-free San Francisco Spirit award-winning vodka and see why it's the smoothest vodka you can buy. When you drink Brackish Vodka, you support all of our local employees and all the money stays in Jacksonville. Drink Brackish Vodka and live life slightly salty. Proud partner of the Jaguars.
We're back! Mia here, and winning season is back. Football is back, and MyBookie is here to make sure you're ready to cash in on the action. This season, MyBookie is pulling out all the stops with incredible promotions, like weekly risk-free boosts on Thursdays, where you can bet without a sweat. If your bet hits, you win big. If it doesn't, forget it. MyBookie will refund your wager. That's just the beginning, folks. MyBookie is giving away hundreds of thousands in prizes with their Super, Survivor, and Squares contests. Get your entries in now for your shot at huge cash rewards. For a limited time, they are bringing back the double deposit bonus. When you're ready to get started, just use promo code 1010XL to claim a bonus that doubles your money on your very first deposit. You heard that right. Double your money with promo code 1010XL before you even place a bet. Not to mention, loyalty pays off with MyBookie Plus. The more you play, the more you win. Climb through tiers of loyalty rewards programs to unlock even more epic promotions. Only with MyBookie.
Get closer to nature.
Trying to get close to these bucks out here.
Jeff Lageman, Captain Kevin Faber, and Captain Kirk Waltz. The Nimnicht Outdoor Show. Presented by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. Saturday morning 7 to 10 on 1010XL.
Are your toilets flushing slow? Shower drain starting to back up? Bad smells? These are all major signs that your septic tank needs to be pumped out. Call Duck Duck Rooter to schedule today. The EPA recommends you get your septic tank pumped out every 3 years. Call now if it's due. 904-862-6769. Duck Duck Rooter is Northeast Florida's only master septic contractor that is fully insured. See our Google reviews. Visit duckduckrooter.com. 904-862-6769.
Hi Jags fans, Walker Little here for my friends at Kingfish Pest Control. Playing offensive line in the NFL, I must block and protect on every down. When it comes to keeping my home pest-free, I expect that same level of protection. So I contacted Kingfish after seeing thousands of positive online customer reviews about their service. I can confirm from personal experience, bugs don't stand a chance getting past Kingfish Pest Control. Do what I did. Reach out to Kingfish Pest Control to protect your home, a proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars.
Mortgage rates have plummeted, and Loan Pronto clients are locking in the lowest rates we've seen in years. Hey, it's Roger Moore, founder and CEO of Loan Pronto. It's happening. We are finally locking APRs in the 5s, something we haven't seen for a long time. If that sky-high rate is killing you or you need to get cash out of your home equity, now is the time to take action. Or listen, even if you want to keep that first mortgage rate intact, you can take advantage of lower rates with our Equity Express line of credit. We're seeing homeowners take 50, 75, 200 grand or more out of their equity and wiping out that high-interest debt with an average savings of $850 per month. Bottom line, your home value is way up and mortgage rates have come way down, making this a great time to act. Call today for a 30-second rate quote. Do it now, and you can even skip your next 2 mortgage payments. 904-999-1508. 904-999-1508. LoanPronto.com. 904-999-1508.
Equal housing lender. NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval. NMLS ConsumerAccess.org.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. It's Mocama Monday on XL Primetime. Head to the tap room in Fernandina Beach every day that ends with Y and enjoy some Mocama.
You can find them on Facebook, on Instagram. They always got fun things going on, including music, festive atmosphere, along with now a kitchen in Mocama right there in the tap room on South 8th in Fernandina, so you can enjoy some of that delicious craft Tuesday through Sunday and all their items, the flatbread and that sausage, Azar sausage.
Sausage bites with butter, bro.
Oh, it was so good. It was so good. All right, one more seg with Denny Thompson, our quarterback whisperer. I just feel like we're just going to kind of bounce right here, staying with the NFL and then get into some college. Anthony Richardson, oh my. Look, I can second guess some decision making. That's whatever, part and parcel of what we do. But in the end, we saw 2 throws that went from the 20 to the 1 and then 20 to the 20 and then ran one in. Yeah.
I mean, he did things yesterday that there's one person alive that can do. And now it's like, all right, how can you figure out how to make that part of your game while you're still getting better, at all the other stuff? Because that's still just y'all understand, that's still just like his 17th start.
18th start now.
In his life.
Yeah, which is crazy. Since high school, which is nuts.
In his life. So it's I think it's like Steichen's good. I hope they can continue to develop him at the speed they're developing him, but he's starting to show why everybody was so obsessed with him, in the draft process.
I actually think the second touchdown was better than the first. Because the second throw, he threw into a tight window, man.
Oh, I don't know.
I know the first one was impressive because it was really accurate and it was kind of off. But, man, that second throw, he actually read and went, oh, there's a window.
He is mechanically really good. And there's people that's going to listen to this and be like, oh, of course you would say that. No. He's mechanically really, really good. He's just so powerful as a human being that sometimes, man, that you can have too much of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the thing. He's 21? He's 21 years old?
No,
he's 22. He was the youngest starter in the NFL yesterday.
Yeah. Wow.
In year 2. Mm-hmm. And he's 255, 256 pounds and runs a 4.4. And jumps 43 inches. Like, you got to be so powerful to do that kind of stuff that as he learns his body and as he learns what, is normal and what he has to do at times, I think he's going to be phenomenal. I'm so excited for Ant.
Here's the thing. I watched that game. I watched the Texan game, and I'm watching the quarterback play, and I'm asking myself, can Trevor be either one of those right now? That was a good game. And C.J. Stroud he was so efficient in that game, it was ridiculous.
Yeah, and Stephon made an impact.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm asking, and we lost the game, and I watched the game, and I was like, I'm not sure. I'm really not sure because his play has to be elevated. Those two guys that I saw play, the Colts versus the Texans, I mean, yeah, there was some drops here and there, but the Texans, they running that thing like a fine old machine.
They are.
And they got the 3 wide receivers, too.
And CJ's anticipation is absurd. I mean, you watch a couple of those throws yesterday that he's throwing to spots that they're not even close to. and he just sees it and he lays it in there. And I think that Trevor can, to answer your question, I think he can do that stuff. And that's what I was saying earlier. Like, is it the system? What is it? Is there not enough freedom? Listen, everybody gets pressure. That's not unique to Trevor.
No.
Everybody gets pressure. Those guys on the other side get paid a lot of money to come tackle you. Like, what is? That's the thing. You got to figure out like what's missing, because I do think 16 is that talent.
Because he needs to spin out of those situations and keep operating, keep manufacturing more opportunities outside of the pocket, as opposed to, unfortunately, it just didn't end well for him yesterday. And then the second of the 2 sacks was when Anton pushed his pass rusher right up the field, right into Trevor. There was really nothing he could do then. But you've got to figure out, boom, I feel it. I got to get out of here, and I need to get on the move.
You know what I like about what Houston does too is when they're in a tight game and when they need to run clock, of course you're going to run the ball, but they're not scared to lean on CJ. They don't stop throwing, right? You look at all the past teams that have been really, really good. Like, they don't stop throwing when they need to run the clock. There's a confidence there. Like, I don't know when that starts here.
You know what? I think this needs to be said, and it sounds like a crutch, and I'm the first guy to, because the whole injuries thing last year about that, that's a crutch. But Etienne doesn't fumble that ball. We're saying Trevor Lawrence unbelievable. Unbelievable.
No question.
And everybody's raving on him.
That's the blame and the credit, right?
Yeah.
But Matt, the point is, like, we should be talking today with his level of talent of, even though Etienne fumbled that ball,
he's still, yes, I agree.
Yeah, and I think
still
that's
found a way to win the game. Yes,
yeah, I just think so highly of Trevor that I don't think that there is a singular excuse that you can make that guy can't overcome with talent.
I agree. I guess by saying that, what I meant was, let's not go off the deep end. Like, he may come back and have a big game against the Browns and have a big game against the Bills and have a big game against the Texans, and they're 3-1, and you're not even thinking about this loss.
I'm saying the opposite. I'm saying I don't know. Like, everybody around Trevor needs to figure something out. I don't think Trevor is the problem.
Right.
I just don't. That's the honest truth for me right now.
Yeah, I mean, I want to coin it the Josh Allen effect.
Yeah.
We've seen Josh Allen be as bad as he throw interceptions, fumble the ball, but somehow towards the end of the game, that if he gets the ball in his hands, he's going to find a way to win the game.
Like a little takeover.
Yeah, he's going to take over. It's almost like Steph in the fourth quarter. Who's getting the ball? Who's shooting the three?
Yep.
And that's what I guess that's what I'm looking for from Trevor.
When I would say that we don't know what they know in that building. Like, we don't know. Do they view Trevor as the kind of guy that, hey, ship's going down, man, we're going to let you take it over? But we do know that because they just gave him the money.
Not only that, the really the best thing to look at, and we said this earlier, in that Chargers game, the only way you're winning is if he throws.
Right.
He throws the ball, and you're throwing all the time.
That's right.
So that's what you should have done yesterday.
And
that was the point yesterday.
And at least 3 receivers made big grabs yesterday. BT made 2, Gabe made 2, Kirk made 1, could have made more. We know that. Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Last year, at the end of the year, we were like, hey, it's tough for them to throw because they don't have time. And we were making excuses for Trevor and for Doug and Press. Did y'all get that feeling yesterday?
No.
Like yesterday, at no point, man, did I get the feeling that they shouldn't be throwing.
I was happy. I honestly was happy with I felt like Jacksonville's pass pressure should have been a little more effective in the second half, but they got to Tua, and Trevor had a decent amount of time.
Till the last drive.
Yeah.
The last 2 drives, actually.
And he got hit early with like we said, a free pass for Calais, and then there was maybe 1 or 2 other ones. But the bottom line is he looked good. All right, let's just sneak in a couple of quick college ones. I got a Lagway question that I want to throw at you from the text line. But when yours, you want to talk about just operating so confidently and within the system and never really ever hitting a panic button. That was a hell of a game from him up in Ann Arbor, just blowing out Michigan.
Nah, he looked good. They look good. I mean, what a football team right now. This can't wait for Georgia, Texas, man. I know it's a long time
October
away.
19th.
Yeah, I'm going. I'll be there. I can't wait.
F1
is the next day in Austin, Texas, so that place is going to be bananas.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, hotel rooms are ridiculous.
That game, man.
But yeah, I mean, Quinn looked good. They looked the part, and I mean, listen, there's a reason that guy was the number 1 recruit in the country. He can throw a football.
Oh, he's smart and savvy. That's for sure. All right, real quick, you didn't see DJ Lagway against quality of competition, but a Gator fan. I'm a Lagway fan, but throwing the ball up to a spot with big-time air equals interceptions in the SEC unless you have superior receivers. We do not. Not to say Lagway didn't also have a couple of great reads, throwing a rope, great completions, yada, yada, yada. He said, put me down for a recommended Mertz start against A&M. What do you think?
I don't know who's going to start, but I don't know that I would classify the Lagway stuff as that. I mean, you throw the ball the way you got to throw the ball to complete the pass. Whoever you're playing, it is what it is, right? So maybe he don't have that same angle against Texas A&M, but he looks to me like the kind of person who's got an instinct that will figure out that angle or how to get the ball there. I was really, really impressed with him. Again, taking away who they're playing, I don't care because we've seen Florida struggle in those in the past.
Yeah.
So I don't know I don't know how you figure out who to start, but I will say this: if it is Mertz,
right,
you better have a package and you better be open to Lagway eventually taking over if he's the quarterback. You no longer can you go to press conferences saying that this is not a quarterback competition. You have a guy who looks to be a dude, and you better find ways to get him in there.
I'll tell you this. It's one of two decisions for him right now. It's his loyalty to Mertz, which he loves Mertz. That's his guy. Loyalty to Mertz or loyalty to keeping his job. Because the only way he's keeping his job is if you get something rare out of that kid.
Yeah.
You get something rare out of Lagway, and you somehow cobble together 7 wins, and a couple of them are upsets, and one of them's a really good upset, then he might have a chance to keep his job.
Yeah, and I
can't imagine that scenario playing out,
Right.
but that's probably the only way it happens for him.
Yeah, but the other thing is, if you're going to go with Lagway, you are going to have to challenge your staff to get a little bit more creative. I mean, that's just the reality of it. Mertz is going to be I'm going to hit this on the back step. I'm going to hit this in time. Lagway's not that guy.
No,
if you want to get the best out of him,
guys.
very Anthony similar.
Yeah.
Like, figure out how to let them get creative. Figure out how to let them take over a game. Stay in their element. Don't try to fix stuff that don't need to be fixed.
That's not one word that I connectably need.
Creative in Gainesville?
It's not. It's not. No.
And that's a problem.
Imagine Miami taking Cam Ward and trying to put him in just a system. Like, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Imagine Lane Kiffin with DJ Lagway.
Yeah, unhinge the talent. That's for sure.
For all you guys who aren't watching on YouTube, Danny just leaned back and went.
All right, Denny Thompson hanging out with us at Denny_Thompson on X. Definitely appreciate our quarterback whisperer for hanging out with us. We will talk to you next week. Let's keep it going. We're going to get back to some of the thoughts as far as the Jags loss. A couple questions, plenty of questions, in fact, off of the text line we will get to on the Mokama Beer Company Monday.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL.
Do the Garber wiggle, Garber wiggle, 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 Garber wiggle.
At Garber Auto Mall, we can wiggle it. Best price, we can wiggle it. Best trade value, we can wiggle it. Best payment, we can wiggle it. Ford, Chevy, Buick, GMC, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. With 8 American brands, we can wiggle it. Visit us in Green Cove Springs or online at GarberAutomall.com. And remember, at Garber Auto Mall, there's always a little room for wiggle.
Do the Garber wiggle, Garber wiggle, 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 Garber wiggle.
Frank Frangie here, and it's time to beat Big Joe. Each week, my buddy Big Joe from Bono's Barbecue will pick 10 college football games. Pick more wins than Big Joe that week. You'll get entered into a drawing to win a $25 Bono's gift card. If you pick more wins than Joe all season long, you'll be entered to win the grand prize: 2 tickets to the SEC Championship game, 2 tickets to the Dr. Pepper tailgate party, and $1,500. Enter to win on the Bono's app. The contest ends on November 23rd. Grand prize winner will be named on the 25th. If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
Post-Game Monday on 1010XL is brought to you by Dandy Foods, makers of quality fresh sandwiches and home of the good stuff.
I'm Jeff Middlecoff with Trustline Mortgage. My business partners, Alan Tyre, Bill Pappas, and Ken Rimley, have been helping first-time home buyers with their mortgage financing all over Florida for 34 years. First-time home buyers can get no or low down payments, anywhere from 0 to 3.5% down. As a first-time home buyer with Trustline Mortgage, you get added benefits for doing your loan with us, like lower rates on your mortgage insurance and lower closing costs. Oh, and did I forget to mention that Trustline gives first-time homebuyers better mortgage interest rates? Here's the bottom line. Trustline Mortgage wants to help first-time homebuyers accomplish your goal of home ownership. That's why Trustline Mortgage is offering the best first-time homebuyer benefits around, period. Trustline Mortgage delivers with no and low down payments, lower closing costs, and better interest rates. Call Trustline Mortgage today at 381-LOAN. Yes, 381-LOAN to find out how we can help you buy your dream home. Or visit our website at trustlinemortgage.com. Trust your your instincts and follow the line to Trustline Mortgage.
Certain restrictions apply. See office for details. Trustline is an equal housing opportunity. MLS number 331480.
Denny Thompson here. If you want to work with new tech security cameras or home automation, Tyson Sound & Security is a growing company looking for you now. Tyson is now hiring for sales, technician, and administrative positions. You'll start at the industry's most competitive pay, and they will train you. Apply online at TysonSoundandSecurity.com or call 762-1000. Tyson Sound & Security hiring sales, technicians, and administrative. Call 762-1000. Equal Opportunity Employer.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On September 9, 2021, quarterback Tom Brady becomes the first player in NFL history to start 300 regular season games, as he guided the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to an opening day game win.
Hey, it's Joe C. My friends at CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living can elevate your grilling experience with a durable, high-end grill from great brands like Coyote, DCS, Alfresco, and American Made, and make an outdoor kitchen custom-built to your taste and lifestyle. Visit their local showroom and see all the new displays at CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living.
You dream it, we build it. CSS.
Are you tired of living with constant pain from torn ligaments or nagging tendinitis and bothersome joint pain? Say goodbye to endless medications and invasive surgeries. Go BioTarget Regenerative Treatment is available only at injury care centers. Their innovative approach helps you recover faster and get back to doing what you love without drugs or surgery. Don't just treat the symptoms, target the root cause with BioTarget. Visit GoBioTarget.com to learn more and schedule your appointment today.
Right now, they're on their way to ruin your day. Don't bother calling the police. They can't help. And if you're not prepared, you will suffer. Yes, it's that time of the year. Heat and humidity are attacking North Florida. But help is at hand. Call Mike Merritt's Heating and Air Conditioning. Mike Merritt has a license to chill and lets you maintain your comfort zone at a bargain price. How? Mike Merritt stands ready to help, routine or emergencies. And Mike Merritt knows emergencies can happen at any time. So with Mike, there's never any overtime charges. And Mike's team works without commissions. Merritt will never try to sell you parts you don't need. You can't trust just anyone with a truck. Call Mike Merritt, the company North Florida has trusted for 35 years. Call today. License number CAC 050384.
If your ride is making strange noises, don't wait and make it worse. Come to Action Transmission on Merrill Road. My expert technicians can diagnose the problem and likely fix it fast. Experience the difference at Action Transmission on Merrill Road.
Raise the stakes on excitement at Best Bet, your go-to spot for unbeatable entertainment and unmatched hospitality. With locations in Jacksonville, Orange Park, and the brand new Best Bet St. Augustine. No poker expertise? No problem. From high-stakes poker to casual games like Ultimate Texas Hold'em and Fortune Pie Gow, there's a game for everyone. Hungry for more? We're serving up delicious bites and craft cocktails, and we're open late. For details, visit bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com. Best Bet, your go-to spot for a thrilling night.
This is Dr. Turner Vossler, Assistant Team Physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Pro Football Hall of Famer Tony Baselli was a guest this morning of The Drill and highlighted a key factor in the Jaguars' loss at Miami.
They were 2 for 10 on third down.
Okay. Yeah.
So when you don't convert third downs, you limit your plays. They only had 50 plays. And so it's easy to look at the call sheet afterwards and says, what are they doing? Well, okay, let's go back and look at it. The bottom line is they didn't convert third downs. And so when you don't convert third downs, you're 2 for 10. You limit your opportunities out there.
Pro Football Hall of Famer Tony Baselli this morning on The Drill. For more Jaguars content, check out our 1010XL Jaguars YouTube channel. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air, Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since '87.
Well, my takeaway is that one game does not make a season. All right? It was very disappointing to see this team crumble right before our eyes in a little adversity. I was hoping they responded a little differently, and they didn't, so hopefully they learn from it and get back to business, back to practice, and let's go beat the Browns.
I like it. My takeaway is you've got a Ferrari. Stop leaving it in the garage. Throw the ball to Brian Thomas Jr.
Dude can be a difference. He really can. My takeaway is I wanted that game. Okay, I believed in their chances going down there to win that game. Everything played out for 30 minutes as far as they were going to do what it would take to change the narrative, the conversation, the belief, everything. 30-minute games, as we started out our show, they don't get played in the National Football League. 60-minute games, and I hate it for all Duval.
They are 60, right?
Yeah, they are. At least 60. I hate it for all Duval. That was one that I wanted. That was one that I thought defensively they did enough to tame the cheetah and everything that they had been doing down there from an offensive standpoint. Miami, when you look back at the last game against Kansas City and what was it, below zero weather, they couldn't get anything done. And Jacksonville, for a while, made them kind of look that way. They really did. Forced them, stopped them on 2 4th downs, forced them basically going into the half, trailing by 10 points, had the game in their hands and could not get the job done. It sucks.
You know, when ETN fumbled, I heard my neighbor scream a stream of 4-letter words.
Yeah.
And I heard every one of them like it was, right next to me. That's how loud and ticked off he was.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I went full Rick James on him.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah. Listen, I believe most people probably did. They could not believe it was happening. And back to your point originally, that's probably the feeling you got. There it goes. There it goes.
Yeah.
I talked to the original NFG earlier today, and look, like I said, every one of you want that sign that says this is different. This is different. Well, that unfortunately was the sign that says, as we heard from our
Talking Head song, same as it ever was.
Yeah, same. Yes, and that's the part that hurts. And don't think for a minute that ETN's not just crushing himself over that play. We're talking about what looks to be a very, very good human being, a hard worker.
Right. Also, a guy who will give you 10 times that
Everything.
positive
in
the season.
Yeah, but you got to get over it. Get over it. You watch the film, let the coaching staff be critical, go back to work, and don't do it again.
And I'll just leave you guys, and this will be a theme as we go along this week. Deshaun Watson is terrible.
Awful.
Deshaun Watson is guaranteed buku dollars. As one guy wrote, he is untradeable and he's uncuttable. You cannot get rid of him. Now, you may not start him as this goes along.
Plus, the dead cap money's just.
That's what I'm saying. He's untradeable and uncuttable.
Yeah.
You cannot do anything to
he's
him.
on your team.
Well, listen.
Jimmy Haslam has paid for him and will continue to pay for him.
Oh, yeah.
But he is terrible.
He's terrible. His previous life, he was a bank robber. Yeah. Had to be. He had to be some stagecoach robber or something like that because to get that kind of guaranteed money and to give the organization that for the last couple of years is terrible.
But, boy, look what's sitting out a year does to a player.
Yeah, the rust.
Oh, my God.
The rust, the good life, the comfort. Listen, nothing great is ever accomplished in the comfort zone.
Yeah.
He's been comfortable.
But before that nonsense, he had his best season.
Mm-hmm.
We can remember him walking off the field with J.J. Watt and J.J. saying, I'm sorry we didn't put more around you.
He was at one point, not like I was ever rooting for anything positive at Houston, but he was a fun player to watch.
Yeah.
And he's not the same.
Joe, just think about this. At one particular point in the playoffs, they were beating the Chiefs 24-0?
Yeah.
In the playoffs?
And at least, yes. I bet it was 20. It might have been 21, but whatever. I totally remember now.
I remember that, yes.
So the year before, in 2020, okay?
Jeez.
The year before he got suspended for a year.
That's another Mahomes just miracle.
33 touchdowns against 7 interceptions, threw for almost 5,000 yards, completed 70% of his passes, and had how many rush TDs? 3 rush TDs and ran for 444 yards. 70% of his passes. He completed 53% of his passes in the open this week.
Yeah. And by the way, the other guy was just walking in, bankrolled in Dak, making him the highest paid player. And Dallas looked okay. They looked pretty good. And so, that if you can get to 1-1, then you got a Buffalo Bills team that you're going to see on a Monday night. You don't know what's going to happen. But at the very least, you saw that team trailing by 14 points as well yesterday and had to come charging back. And they did. They were successful.
Yeah, but I'm looking at these teams and like they're as good as the Bills.
Right.
Their roster's just as good as the Bills roster.
Yes,
okay?
yes.
And their roster's as good as now. The Browns got a really good defense, but their roster's as good as the Browns roster.
Yeah,
and same with the Texans. Although the Texans did add Diggs and
they added, but there were
other guys on defense. But that's
still they didn't necessarily show all the fruits of that labor. They added Mixon and Diggs. Both of those guys
ran for $160 yesterday.
Yeah, they both were making plays for Houston yesterday. There's no question about that. But it does come down to, are we going to get it done? Are we going to change our fortunes? Are we going to put the work in?
Yeah, and what you can't be fooled by is that the Cowboys, they demolished the Cleveland Browns. You got a very desperate team coming in here. And you go 0-2, and that's an uphill climb for any team. It could be irreversible. You could turn the tide, but the last thing you want to do is you want to start off the season at 0-2. And this team has to learn how to win games at home. You got to win. Listen, you got to go 7-1, 6-2 at home. You got to go 50-50 on the road. That gets you in the playoffs.
I'll just stick with this for a while. This is on Doug. Okay, Doug needs to change the attitude, everything that they're doing, not go 180 degrees. I'm just talking about.
He's got a little salty attitude right now.
Just make sure that
By the way.
Yeah. Well, guess what? That's on you too, pal.
Yeah.
Okay. You decided to go for it from your own 32.
Right now.
And you can't. By the way, you cannot pin that on your players if you're making bad decisions yourself. Okay. And you can't say every play should be made because that just isn't the way the NFL works. And so he did not put his team late in a game in a good position at all. And I shouldn't even say late in the game because that was, a little bit earlier than late. You just can't do that. And so this is response time. Would you agree with that as far as how you handle your business during this game week?
Yeah, especially this week. You got to have a good week of preparation. You got to hold everybody accountable. You got to chastise. You got to be hard on the film because here's the thing. One thing that they do in film rooms, and I've been in it for 11 years, they show you the opportunities that you missed by a missed block here or a pressure here or, not getting at home on the blitz or that kind of stuff. So you're going to see opportunities on film that you missed if you had just gotten that block.
Right, you clean that up.
You clean that up. Exactly. Yeah. So offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators, they do an outstanding job at that. And you can't take it personal because it's all about winning football games. But like I keep saying, don't let you be the problem.
Yeah, yeah.
Also, man, I got to be honest with you, man, and I know it might just be a throwaway line, but I did not like the fact that Doug Pederson said, "Yeah, we got to coach that better on defense." That guy, they played well enough to win that game defensively. Defense was not the problem. The problem was the offense. So, I mean, I get it. He's frustrated, but that's not the guy that I would call out.
Right, and I'm not even saying he's right. I think what might have been driving him crazy is that there were two big crossers.
Yeah, but Cheetah's going to make plays in a game.
No, I'm just saying there were two.
So will Waddle. They both. You're going to have to deal with that. They're going to make plays.
Yes, and they had held him down, Tyreek, for much of that game. And then he ends up getting the biggest play he's ever had in an NFL uniform. But they also had.
It wasn't the biggest play, was it?
Yeah.
That was his longest touchdown catch ever?
80 yards, yeah.
And so the other part of it is that they did let go of that at least one big play to Waddle, one big play to Achane. They definitely let go of some big plays, which drive you crazy. And the time of possession and the 3 and outs on the offensive side, just as much to blame here. It was like we said.
Yeah, but everybody's got good players, man. Guys make plays.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Here's a question you got to ask yourself. Why didn't Brian Thomas get more of those kind of plays? The opportunity down the field.
The opportunity to get him, right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Don't use him as a decoy.
Well, I know of no other way to get this question answered other than to simply look to my right.
Now, the 2-minute drill, brought to you by Injury Care Centers, the exclusive provider of BioTarget regenerative therapy for pain. Visit GoBioTarget.com for a location near you.
The embedded and shredded, I look to you for answers, wisdom, guidance, I don't know.
He looks distraught.
I could just be like Doug Pederson and be terse and condescending to you as you ask your question.
Yes,
So did he get a little riled up at your
Oh,
Q&A?
without a doubt. It was definitely one of the more unique press conferences that Doug Pederson has had since
Give
he's
people
been
an
Jaguars
idea,
coach.
just so
He just was irritated, and I get it. I mean, look, if you're 2 yards away from a 17-point lead deep into the third quarter, going to get a massive road win to start the season, and Travis Etienne fumbles, and then your team just falls apart. And it's been a trend now. I mean, he's 1-6 in his last 7 games.
Yeah, that's 6.
I mean, that's a pretty big chunk of time.
Especially when you consider who they did play down the stretch last year.
With some ugly losses, man.
I mean, so I think you worry long term that is there an ability with this administration to and does it trickle down? Somebody has got to be able to make a play when they need it. And certainly Etienne's fumble was incredibly disappointing. But he's a quality player. We know that. But for 17 more minutes of game, no one
Hayes, I gotta ask you
is
this.
going to step up and save the day. It was disappointing. It's just it's a trend. So again, it's one game, long season left, and there was a lot of really good stuff. I mean, I thought they dominated the first 40 minutes basically of the game, which was why it was so galling that they ended up coming up on the losing end.
So you said 17 minutes, 1 completion by Trevor after that.
Yeah, that's where that I can understand.
It's a mystery.
It's a mystery, but this is what I'll say for Doug Pederson. All he's heard all offseason is how his offensive line can't control a game. Well, they're controlling the game. If Etienne scores there, I mean, we're all talking, and let's just assume they win by 17. Let's assume that they don't score again, the Dolphins don't score again, and they win by 17. Then everybody's talking about, wow, this Jaguar offensive line. Look at Tank Bigsby. Look at these holes. Etienne, having some good moments. So they were running the ball well. So I don't mind sticking with that. It's hot. Miami, you could kind of feel watching it just on TV that the crowd was sort of, kind of
They're
not
just
booing
Miami.
them, but certainly, there was that vibe. I think you ideally you put them away there with the ground game. The problem is either Miami made a great adjustment or simply dug deeper and they stopped the run. And then it was like, all right, well, now it looks bad. But at the time, you had the run game working. So I don't know whether it was schematic, whether it comes down to Miami wanted it more, and that's a concern. But the other problem with this is Miami isn't the kind of team that wins these games. I mean, if this was like the Ravens or the Steelers or the 49ers or the Chiefs, you'd be like, all right, it's disappointing. Those are really strong, mentally tough teams. They always have been. The Miami Dolphins are not that.
No.
The Miami Dolphins are their reputation is that they beat bad teams, but they fold against good teams. So to allow the Dolphins to escape, it's just you just hope it doesn't doom them come January.
It hurt me. All right, you're gonna leave with Lagway.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. We'll talk a lot of DJ Lagway, but certainly a lot of Jaguars too coming up on the Franchise Show. Bucky Brooks will join us at 5:00, so that'll be a lot of fun. So yeah, should be fun.
Thank you, Hayes.
Thank you,
Appreciate
guys.
it, man. They are going to leave with Lagway. Let's be real.
Right. Look, the thing that really gets me now.
Frank Frangie, Hayes, Carline, JJ, all coming up.
Right. And we will get into this tomorrow. Is in these 7 games, they've literally lost in every conceivable manner.
Yeah.
That's a big
You're
problem.
probably
too.
right.
That's a big problem.
I don't know if I want to drag us through that a half mile of cracked glass, but we might do it tomorrow. I'm not quite sure because, yeah, there are different ways to lose. You don't want that. You don't want that, Leon. You do not want that. We are done. We say thanks to Mocama Beer Company. You can have a cold one. I always say commiserate and celebrate. Just include a pint. You can definitely find them online, mocama.com, on the shelves at ABC or Total. And great craft Tuesday through Sunday right there in Fernandina Beach and Wildlight. Joe C., Matty Hayes, Big Searcy, and RJ, we turn you loose. The Franchise Show's up next.
Everyone wants to doubt Jackson.